I'm here with Candie Cooper, and she has brought, well, the most beautiful crown, right?
Thank you. I love a good flower crown.
So how are we going to get started?
Okay, so this involves a lot of wire working and wire wrapping, but it's really easy stuff. You can't mess it up. I'm using a 22 gauge wire and a 20 gauge wire, just depending on like how flexible I want the pieces to be.
For people who don't know, higher numbers are?
Higher numbers are skinnier diameter, thinner diameter. So for the base of your piece though, we're just building this corsage form. You want to just start with the thicker wire because you're going to build from that. And what I did is just strung a couple beads, and then you're going to come down and wrap the tail of your wire.
And you're doing this all with your fingers. I mean, we're not even using tools. That's awesome.
Well, thanks. Yeah, I like simple. And then you'll need your wire cutters. Just, use the flush end of your wire cutters. Put your finger over the wire so it doesn't fly. We don't have our safety glasses on. And then give yourself however long you want your corsage piece to be, and then add a few inches so that you can have some length to build off of. So now we're going to finish the opposite end, just how you started.
And obviously you're doing all like pinks and creams and beautiful colors like that, but you could change the colors to suit whatever mood you might be in.
That's right. You know, you're seeing a lot of flower crowns and all different, you know, some people are using fresh, some people are using, you know, artificial flowers. This is like a fun combination of the two, so you can get whatever vibe, you know, you're
I was also going to say, you can build this base and then you can go on to add fresh flowers, new fresh flowers each time, so the crown looks slightly different each time you wear it.
Right. So then, okay, so now to keep building, you're going to have something like this or whatever, and then you just start twisting these bad boys together. Like, it's so easy. So now I've got two pieces, and I can just wrap this around.
And I notice you even have a loose bead sort of rolling around in the middle, and it doesn't matter.
Totally. And then don't worry about fluffing these at this point, but you can just keep adding.
By the way, I wanted to point out, Candie, this beautiful section that I thought was some sort of fancy wire. I know you're laughing because I just realized it's just a long end of wire that you've wrapped around there.
It's just twisting. That's all you're doing. And so to keep going, like, just twist this around there. Like, really, you can't mess this up. It's kind of it's a great, like, you know, put some beads on a tray and just start wrapping.
Yeah, I think it'd be fun to have some girlfriends over or kids, Girl Scout troop, anything like that, and make a bunch of these.
Yeah, and I was actually thinking about that. I was like, wouldn't this be such a cute project for like bridesmaids?
It would, and I actually think this would be great on like packages if you wanted to wrap them for a great little embellishment. You could certainly do ornaments. I can see that you could actually, instead of a crown, it could be a pin. You could, you know.
Oh my gosh, you're picking up my brainwaves, because I was like, just go ahead and wire wrap a pin back in there right while you're at it, because I kind of laid this piece over my shoulder and I was like, I love it. Okay, so now once you have your piece built, you're gonna have something, this is like a baby version of what I did for the finished one, but you're gonna need something to put it on. So I'm using this gorgeous white leather braid, and all you're going to do is just use some flat wire, and I've got this pretty pink again, and let me get one end of it.
So why is it that you're using wire inside the leather? Why wouldn't you just use the leather by itself?
Because you want some strength, some rigidity to your headband piece. Plus, then you can mold it to your head. Speaking of head, you should hold this up to your head and get a kind of an idea.
Before you glue it, because it might get awkward after that.
Yeah.
The other thing is, I just want to show how you're gluing, which I think is so smart, which is you're doing it in small sections and then adding more, instead of trying to get glue on the whole piece.
You'll end up super glued to yourself, honestly, if you do that. But you just put a bead of glue and then just pat your leather down and try to check both sides to make sure it's centered.
Now, this is the kind of thing you might want to wear gloves for, because the leather, because of the braid, has holes, and you might end up with glue all over your hands.
Right. So then you just do the whole length, and then when you come to the end, I'm going to set this over here. When you come to the end, you're going to overlap
the two ends so that you get that. Now, of course, we're using a white band. You could certainly, with all the pinks, you could use...
This braid comes in a million colors, or just get this. This is like a pearly white band. Paint it.
I was also going to say, you could use really pretty, like, embroidered ribbons, because if you're attaching it to this... Now, if you were going to use a ribbon, which is obviously softer and lighter than, like, this heavy braid, would you have to use two pieces of wire or thicker wire? It's all going to be fine. That wire's going to take care of everything.
That wire is going to treat you right. It's going to be a one-stop shop.
And now, is this considered like a rose gold or a copper wire?
Rose gold.
Rose
That's
gold.
why I picked it. I was like, oh, so trendy. I love it. So then to attach this piece to your headband, you want to kind of hold it up, look in the mirror, see where you want it. And then I kind of like to have it follow the curve a little bit, get it in place, and just lay it down. And then you're gonna anchor your wire kind of in the middle. You see what I'm doing?
I see. You're just continuing the wrapping idea.
Easy peasy. I'm gonna go ahead and trim, and because you can always do this in short sections as well. But you're just wire wrapping this bad boy right.
I thought you were
onto the
gonna
frame.
glue it, and this is so much smarter because it just means that you don't end up with like a messy thing, and it's really on there. And in fact, it's actually removable.
Julie, when we're partying at the music festival with these on, we gotta have it secure. Like,
You don't want it flying off.
No, on the dance floor, that's no good. So see, that's like really on there. So then go ahead and tuck your wires in. And if you have some pointy ends, you could always put like a little bit of felt or something behind this guy, but it's not bad. Not bad at all. Then if you want to bump it up just a little bit, we're gonna go ahead and add some leaves. I'm just using these little silk leaves, but I felt like they were a little harsh in the color.
Well, I was going to say, I want to point out something brilliant that you did too while you're painting that, which is not only are you transforming the color, but I saw you actually cut down some of the leaves so they would look how you wanted, because they all originally looked like the one that you're painting right now, right?
Right. And so I'm just like washing them over them with a pale pink, but you could use metallics or whatever. And
You
then,
could do stamps or polka dots or anything. And then how do we add them to the crown?
okay, so to add them to the crown, you're gonna go ahead and get them, fold them up, trim them, whatever, and then use like a multi-purpose adhesive, a little bit of wire, drop it back in there. You can wire wrap. If we look at the finished one, you can see they're just sort of tucked behind each of those calla lily beads.
It's absolutely beautiful. I want to rip it off the mannequin's head and put it on mine. Thank you, Candie.
Thank you.